Welcome to the debut episode of the Tailgate Talk. I'm your host. Some of y'all know me by your favorite average Joe, your future favorite baby daddy. But y'all can just call me T on this one. I haven't come up with a nickname for this podcast. This podcast, centered around, all things Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be mostly Philadelphia Eagles. I will have some once the maybe like basketball season starts if the Sixers are any good, which I doubt this year. The Phillies make a playoff run, which they will, but they haven't really done anything the last couple of years. We'll talk about that, but mainly football, right? Decided to do this podcast because I've been a lifelong Philadelphia Eagles fan my whole life. Like, I don't bleed red, I bleed green. That's how I truly feel. I mean, I know I bleed red, but I bleed green. Like, I'm a diehard fanatic. I really care about the Eagles. I love the Eagles. Everybody sees the other. They don't get to see the sports side of me. So I wanted to talk about the sports side of me. I will have guests on. So I think here's how the format's going to go, right? When the season starts, if they play on a Sunday, I'm going to try to have the episode out by Tuesday because I do work, so And then if they play on a Thursday, like the opening day, I can have it out to you by that Friday because I'm off on Thursday, right? Also, what I try to plan on doing is if I know anybody we're playing against the opponent, I will try to have them on. So we can talk about the game, and if there's some topics where I feel like I could get somebody that can disagree with me, I will have them on so we can. I like a good banter, good back and forth. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you and say that I don't because I like a good back and forth. But today's topic, right? We're going to talk about the Eagles' schedule. So as of this video, I'm making this before I do any social media or anything like that. There will be a social media for this, a TikTok for this, the actual YouTube page for this. It's going to be separate from my other YouTube, which is the Average Show Media LLC. It's going to be Tailgate Talk YouTube, Tailgate Talk Instagram, Tailgate Talk TikTok, probably, and or Twitter, because I really feel like if I get the right people on, this could blow up, right? All right. Every episode for this podcast will have video. All right. I'm making sure every episode for this podcast will have video. So today, right, we're talking about the Eagles schedule, 2025. You're defending NFL Super Bowl champions. We beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and the Chiefs, and we whooped them. It really could have been 60-6, honestly. Sirianni and call off the dogs. Like, they scored most of their points after we poured the Gatorade on them. So I'm going to give you my honest review. All this going to be honest takes, right? I'm a diehard Eagles fan, but I'm a realist. When we suck, we suck. When we're good, we're good. I'm going to give you the skinny on the schedule. It's not going to be too long of an episode. Some episodes will be longer than others. Some episodes I'm not trying to keep most episodes around like 30 minutes because after that, my camera dies and all that extra stuff. So, right. 2025 Eagles schedule, right? Opening day, September 4th, 8:20, against the Cowboys at home. This isn't a tricky one. We're going to win the game. It's not that we're not going to win the game. It's tricky because Dak and Jalen haven't played a whole lot together ever since Jalen's been the starter. Either Jalen's got hurt or Dak has gotten hurt. The year we went to the Super Bowl, we beat them in Philly. And then in Dallas, he got hurt in that Chicago Bears game. And we blew the game when we had Gardner Minshew. Should have won that game. And then last year, Dak was hurt. And we won both games. So I don't know what the actual, like, what's Dak? Let me see. What their actual record is. Hold on. Dak versus Jalen. Record. Okay, so Dak in his career has a 9-4 record against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jalen's 4-3 against the Cowboys, but Dak is 2-1 against Hurts, right? So I ain't gonna sit there and say that Dak hasn't owned the NFC because he has, but I'm not worried. I don't think their defense will be as good. I'm not worried about Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders hasn't been really good at all since he left Philly. But they do have George Pickens, and George Pickens is good. But George Pickens, if he don't get the ball, can also become a problem. But because it's opening day, I feel like we win that game. I don't know necessarily the score. I feel like it's a close game, and then the second half we end up blowing them out. It's a statement game for us because you don't want to. You don't want to sit there and opening day lose to the Cowboys at home because we don't really beat Dallas in Dallas. It's been a long time since we beat Dallas in Dallas. No, not a long time because we just beat them last year. But like when it really mattered. I remember the one year we had Mark Sanchez, Shady McCoy on Christmas. We blew Dallas out, and they came into Philly and blew us out. So game 1 against Dallas, we beat Dallas, right? Game 2. Super Bowl rematch, Kansas City Chiefs, September 14th. I don't see us losing to the Chiefs. I'm sorry. Especially with Rashee Rice out, probably will be suspended for the first few weeks. I feel like this team will get the ball rolling early because we have a very tough schedule, right? So we beat the Chiefs. I think that's gonna be a close game, or we can dominate them like we did in the Super Bowl to send a message. I feel like a lot of people. So right, if I'm being realistic, right, because the Chiefs have won 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls, right, or something like that, or two out of the last 3 for sure, and I think 3 out of the last 4. They're the cream of the crop. I'm not gonna sit there and lie and say that they ain't. We're a defending champs, but they're the cream of the crop. Right, over the last 3 years, it's been us and the Chiefs right there, neck and neck. If you want to keep it a buck, we should win. We should have 2 Super Bowls. Well, really 3 because Hurts should have 2. But we go into Kansas City, we win that game. Right, we win that game against Kansas City. I'm not gonna hold you. We about to dog walk the Rams. I'm sorry. Everybody says that, week 3's the Rams. Everybody says that, we got lucky in the NFC Championship game. People forget we went to LA and we spanked them. We dog walked them. We mopped the floor with them in their stadium. And then people forget that in the NFC Divisional Championship game, we was up 14. We put our foot off the gas before they came back. We was up 14 with 7 minutes left. We put our foot off the gas. The game was over. I'm sorry. The Rams ain't beating us. I don't see it happening. I can't Sean McVay doesn't even play. He couldn't even beat Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. And he can't even really he don't play well he don't coach well against the Eagles. We're not losing to the Rams at home. Our first loss of the season, the day before my birthday, September 28th, comes to week 4, the annual Tampa Bay road game. Why are we always playing Tampa on the road? I don't know. We're always playing Tampa on the road. We're not playing Tampa at home. We're not playing, I'm saying, I can't remember the last time we played Tampa on the road. We always play them at home within the first 4 weeks of the season. And here's why I say that's a loss. I would love for it to be a win, but we're never healthy going into Tampa. Either A.J. Brown is hurt, Lane Johnson is hurt. One of those scenarios is always happening. Dallas Goedert is hurt. Devontae Smith is hurt. Everybody getting hamstring injuries or they being knocked out the game. So that's a loss. But I would love for that to be a win, but that's a loss. The Broncos at home, October 5th, week 5. That's a win. Yeah, I don't see us losing to the Broncos at home. I'm sorry, I don't see it. The Broncos are a good team, but I don't see it. Week 6 against the Giants, Thursday Night Football in New York will be a win, but it's not going to be an easy win. I feel like the Giants have. I feel like the Giants are fighting with the Cowboys for that 3rd and 4th spot in the NFC East this year. And I feel like the Giants are markedly better with Russell Wilson. They have a very good defense. So I say we win that game, but it's a close game. I say we win that game like, I don't know, 24-20 or something like that. It's going to be a close game. And then we got the Vikings on the road. I'm going to shock y'all. I say we lose that game. To the Vikings on the road. Somewhere I don't see us going I don't see us going 7-1 before the bye. I see us going 6-2. So I will say we lose the Vikings game. We're coming off a short week going into the Giants, having to play the Vikings. I can see us losing that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of let our guard down, and we lose that game. I can see that game going very similar to how last year when we played the Saints, and it was an ugly win. It could be like that, but we don't have the massive run from Saquon to have us win the game. And then we got week 8, the Giants. Matter of fact, yeah, the Giants. And we win that game. We beat the Giants. I'm not a fan of how we got the Giants scheduled in Giants, Vikings, Giants, and then bye, and then at the end of the year, Commanders, Bills, Commanders. I'm really not a fan of that. I don't like how they did us like that. So going into the bye, right, we're 6-2. After the bye is when things get a little tricky. So coming off the bye, week 10, we got to go to Green Bay. Monday Night Football. So we're 6-2 at this point, right? Give us a win. That's going to be a close game, but I feel like we are better than Green Bay. I feel like the cold doesn't necessarily. I don't feel like the cold necessarily gets to us because we play in Lincoln Financial Field, and I feel like we are the better team than Green Bay. So they started the season with a loss last year with us, and they entered the season last year with a loss with us. And I don't think Jordan Love is as good as people make it seem that he is. So give us that win. And then we got the Lions Sunday Night Football. Give us that win. Week 11. So at this point, we are what? 8-2. Right. I feel like we everybody feels like, oh, the Lions would have beat us last year. Because we would have went to Detroit. They couldn't beat the Commanders. We'd have pressured the mess out of them. And I feel like the Lions will take a step back this year. Their offensive line isn't that strong. They had Ragnar retire, and they got a guard they took their second round pick last year and made him a center. And then, made him a center. They got another person from the 6th round, making him a guard from the 6th round this year. Their offensive line won't be great, and I think our defensive line won't. I don't think our defensive line won't be as good, but it will still be good. We'll still get the pressure we need to get. So we beat the Lions. Okay. Now we got the Cowboys, November 23rd in Dallas. That's a loss. We always split with them. That's a loss. So now we're 8-3, right? We'll lose to them a couple days before Thanksgiving. I don't see us sweeping Dallas unless Dak gets hurt. If Dak gets hurt, then we sweep Dallas. So all this could change towards injuries, right? But yeah, we sweep Dallas. We don't sweep Dallas. We lose to Dallas. So now we're 8-3, and then we got Chicago on a Friday. That's a tricky game to me. That game I think could go either way. I feel like Chicago will be a much more improved team. With Ben Johnson. I feel like there will be a much more improved team with Ben Johnson, but I say we win that game. It's at the crib, November 28th. So wait, hold on, let me see, because we play November 23rd. That's gonna be a rough week because we only got we play what? Yeah, so we play November 23rd, and then we play that Friday. So that's a short week for us. because it's a short week, I'm not going to lie to you. I can see that being a loss. That's a Black Friday game. So we play them November 23rd. We play the Cowboys November 23rd. We got to come home to play Chicago. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me see who they play the week before us. That may determine if we're going to win or not. Let's see here. They got the Steelers at home. Okay. We could win that game because I feel like they could beat the Steelers. All right. So now we're what? So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're 9-3. All right. We got the Chargers. Monday Night Football in LA. My dad's going to that game. I'm trying to go to that game in LA. And we avenge, because Jalen Hurts has not beaten the Chargers. The only time we played them was his rookie year. Not his rookie year, but his first year as his first full year as a starter. No, his rookie year. His first full year as a starter when we lost to the year we lost to Tampa Bay in the playoffs. Tom Brady year. I think that was the last game like we lost where we went on that run. Because remember, we went on a run to make the playoffs. We lost by a game-winning field goal, I think, to the Chargers in Philly. And also, I don't think Justin Herbert is a great quarterback like people think he is. And I think we're going to dog walk the Chargers in L.A. They have a good defense. Don't get me wrong. They have a good defense. But they don't really have the offensive weapons. And I feel like Quinyon and Cooper DeJean will shut whoever them down, and we can stop the run. So we beat the Chargers. So now we're what? 10-3, and then we got the Raiders, and coming into Philly, that's 11-3. Now here's where it gets tricky because we're losing. We having all that momentum to lose the last 2 out of 3. I think we will lose back-to-back games. We got Commanders on a Saturday. That's a loss. In Washington, that's a loss. Now we're what? 11-4, and then we got the Bills in Buffalo. 4:25 game, second to last week of the season. This game is a loss for me. But it's a tricky one because it really the late season games are all depends, because if the Bills have wrapped up their division, I can see them sitting and they have like firmly entrenched their spot in like the 2 seed or something like that. If they're not playing for anything, I can see them sitting Josh Allen. So if that's the case, then we win. But I'm assuming that they're trying to still fight for the 1 seed or they're still gonna be fighting for the 2 seed. That's a loss. So now we're 12-4, and then last week of the season we'll beat Washington. That's 12-5. I think this year 12-5 will be good enough to get the 1 seed, even though I'm not worried about having to go on the road. I don't care if we have to go to San Francisco, even though I don't think San Fran will. Even though they have an easy schedule, I don't think San Fran will stay healthy enough, and they lost a lot of pieces. So yes, we'll be 12-5 this year. And I think that'd be good enough to be the 1 seed. Here's where I feel like I don't think we will. We had number 9 total offense last year. We were like ranked 29th in passing or something like that. I think this year will change. This year teams will stack the box and force Jalen to throw the ball. And I feel like he will. Because people forget, the year we had the supernatural funk, he threw for like 3,900 yards. It wasn't him that was really messing up. It was the defense. So I feel like he'll have close to that type numbers. And people forget, the year he went to the Super Bowl, he didn't get hurt against the Bears. He was going to win MVP. So my bold prediction for this year for the Eagles is Saquon comes back to earth a little bit. Instead of 2,000 yards, I could say Saquon ended up with about like 1,500, right? Rushing yards. I can see Jalen Hurts throwing for like 3,900 yards. 28, 39 touchdowns, like anywhere from like 3 to 5 interceptions, right? because I feel like in order for us to repeat, we have to throw the ball more this year because I feel like teams are going to stack the box. And I feel like because they're going to stack the box against Saquon, he'll still get his yards because you know how last year we're running the ball, we're running to open up the pass. This year we're going to pass to open up the run. And I feel like Jalen will use his legs a little bit more. So we're 12-5. I think this is the year Jalen Hurts wins MVP because last year Lamar didn't have great numbers. I mean, Lamar had better numbers than Josh Allen. The year before, he didn't have great numbers. So I feel like we're 12-5. Jalen Hurts wins MVP. And I feel like this year, Nick Sirianni wins Coach of the Year because he should have won it a couple years ago, and he did it. So this year, I feel like Jalen Hurts wins MVP. Nick Sirianni wins Coach of the Year because I feel like there won't be another scenario like there was last year where the Vikings and the Bills were both 14-1 going into the season or something like that, or 16-1 going into the season or whatever that is. No. I feel like for the NFC East, the Eagles will. I feel like the Eagles won't wrap everything up until week 18 because they would have lost week 16 and week 17. So they will have I'll say they'll have a 2-game lead on the Commanders. And then the last game of the season, if they win, they clinch. If they lose, they won't win the division. It'd be something like that. Kind of similar to how it was last year, almost in a sense. But I'll also say this. If Terry McLaurin doesn't play for the Commanders, we are dog walking him all year. So it's a lot of variables that go into this, but I will say Jaden Daniels is good enough to where he can get one win over Hurts. And it'll be one legitimate win because last year when Hurts went out, we were up 21-0, and then we lost because of Kenny Pickett. All this is, depending on health. I think A.J. Brown will have a very good year, and Devontae Smith will have a very good year. And I feel like Dallas, thank God we brought Goddard back, will have a good year. So yeah, 12-5. We won the division. If I had to rank the NFC East, I'm going to have Eagles 1, Commanders 2, Giants 3, Dallas 4. I can see Dallas going 8-9, 9-8. I can see the Giants going 8-9, 9-8. I feel like the Giants last year weren't as horrible as they were. They just needed a quarterback. And I feel like Russell Wilson is a good, serviceable enough quarterback to get you to 8-9 wins a year for them. So I feel like we sweep the Giants, but they're tougher games. It's not going to be easy pickings, even though we own the Giants. Yeah, I don't really know. I will say I do want to do an NFC preview, but I'm not 100% sure who I think is the 2 seed or 3 seed. I think the Lions take a step back this year. I would not be shocked if the Bears won that division because I don't trust the Packers enough because I don't trust Jordan Love like that. Jordan Love got hot at the end of the 1 year. That's how he got all his money because he got hot. So yeah, I don't trust the Packers enough. I still think, like I said, I think we go 12-5, but I can see a scenario to where we lose to the Chiefs or the Rams and beat the Bucks, right? So I can see us to where we beat the Cowboys, beat the Chiefs, lose to the Rams, beat the Bucks to where we're still now 3-1. And I can see a scenario to where we maybe beat the Bills but lose to the Packers or something like that. But 12-5 is what I have for this year. Saquon will still have 1,500 yards. I will say this. I think Saquon will still have 2,000 yards from scrimmage, but I give him 1,500 yards rushing, 500 passing. Jalen Hurts will have. I say Jalen Hurts. I will give Jalen Hurts 28 to 30 passing touchdowns. That's not including just passing, because I think he will throw the ball more this year. I think he's going to have to. I don't think, because we have Kellen Patullo, I feel like the offense will be kind of similar, but a little different. So therefore, it will be because he was already in that system, the Kellen Moore system, so in the Nick Sirianni system. So I feel like it'd be a blend of both. But what we can't do, like how we did during the Supernatural Funk era, we can't. It can't be predictable. That's what happened down our downfall. We weren't playing well. We were still winning, but the offense was too predictable. It's got to be how it was last year. Add a little more wrinkles in there, and I think we'll be fine. All right. But yeah, 12-5 is what I got for this year's Philadelphia Eagles. Kind of similar to what we was last year, because I can't remember what we was last year, to be honest with you. But you're defending Super Bowl champs. We have a rough schedule, but it's not all that rough when you think about it. It's teams that we already beat. Like we beat the Rams, we can beat the Rams again. I really do feel like we can beat the Bucks, but because I know we can beat the Bucks, but because we're always injured, I don't think that we will beat the Bucks because it's in Tampa. If it was in Philly, we would dog walk them, honestly. And I feel like this year it's going to be a big year for Jalen Hurts because a lot of people don't have Jalen Hurts in their top 10, or if they do, it's later in the top 10. And I feel like Jalen Hurts is a top 4, top 5 quarterback. And so that's going to be the next episode with my homeboy Tyler. So if y'all watch him from other podcasts, you know him as somebody's son. We're going to be debating, is Jalen Hurts a top 10 quarterback? I'm going to get my dad on. That's a big thing. That's going to be huge for me because my dad's how I got introduced to the Philadelphia Eagles. And to be able to talk sports with him is massive. I don't know what we're going to talk about yet. I'm torn. I kind of want to talk about with him, are they going to repeat, or him giving his perspective of being an Eagles fan, because he grew up. I mean, I kind of did too in like the Ray Rhodes era and the Dick Vermeil era and the Buddy Ryan era. I ain't grow up with all that. I do remember Ray Rhodes, so we were ass. We were horrible. So I feel like my generation of Eagle fans, I am 30, about to be 36 in September. We have been blessed because we have seen them go to 4 Super Bowls, right? We're 2-2 in that stretch. We've been to at least, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 NFC championship games, right? We got to at least 7 because we went to 3 because we lost to the Rams, Bucks, Panthers, and then we beat the Falcons. Then we lost to the Cardinals. McNabb's last real good year. I really felt like we would have beat the Steelers that year, too. I really wanted that. So that was 5. And then we've been to 3 since then. Because we've been to 3 Super Bowls since McNabb has been gone. So we've been to 8 NFC championship games, because then we beat the Vikings, and then we beat the 49ers and beat the Commanders. So we've been to 8 NFC championship games, and we won 2 Super Bowls, and we've been to 4. This squad has been very blessed. Our generation has been very blessed. Also, I feel like this year is the year that there will be back-to-back NFC championship games. I mean, and back-to-back NFC East championships repeaters. I do feel like the Commanders would be good. I just feel like how many games did they win last year? Commanders record last year. Hold on. I feel like last year they won 12. We went 14-3. They won 12-5. So let's see what their schedule is this year. We're not going 14-3 this year. We're going 12-5 this year. We take it's a little bit harder schedule. You know what I'm saying? We'll lose a couple games. Real quick, I can see the Commanders. Yeah. We're 12-5. They're 11-6. I can see them losing 6 games because they're going to lose to the Eagles. They're going to lose to either the Bengals or the Packers. They're going to lose to, or let's see. They're going to lose to the Ravens, and they'll lose to either the Bengals or the Packers. So that's 2 losses right there. And then they're going to lose to the Eagles. That's 3 losses. Lose to the Cowboys. That's 4 losses. Lose to the Chiefs. That's 5 losses. And they're going to lose to either the Bears or the Lions. So that gives them 6. Yeah. So 6 losses. Maybe 7. Depending on, because I think the Bears after the Hail Mary, they will beat the Commanders. But yeah, that's it. So that's just my schedule preview for the Philadelphia Eagles this year, 2025. I'm trying to have a couple guests on for the first game of the season against the Cowboys, Cowgirls. I'm sorry, but we'll see if they are available. This is the first episode of the Tailgate Talk. Go ahead and subscribe. The description will be down below for the podcast and the YouTube. I'm about to actually make that right now after I get off here. So by episode 3, I'll have all that in the link below. Go ahead and subscribe, man. Share it with a friend. Tell a friend to share it with a friend to share it with another friend. It's called the Tailgate Talk. So I'm going to try to. There's a Philly bar, Philadelphia Eagles restaurant in Orlando. I'm gonna try to go to that so I can get some Eagle fans on and maybe do some post content like at the bar, tailgate wins and losses. Extra bonus content. Go from there. But these episodes will be on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, all your podcast streaming platforms. All right. Once again, man, it's T. It's your fanatic Eagle fan. I guess that's what I'm gonna go for now. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. See you on the next one. Peace.